another of her silly lamps that I have to get rid of.
You didn't ask for them.
No, I guess I hope them.
You would see her on Saturday.
No, she lives on the mainland.
Oh.
I'm back.
Hello.
We're going live. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Welcome, everybody, to Dr. Carolyn Dean live here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. And as I like to say, uniting Dr. Carolyn Dean with the whole world and bringing you the very best and leading edge technology information about nutrition and how to use nutritional supplements and nutritional assets to your benefit for your health, vitality, and your well-being. We're so glad you're here with us this week and every week as you come to learn and to enjoy and to help build this community of people who are committed to taking their health to the next level of performance, whatever that means, whether you're recovering from a mineral deficiency or a chronic condition that you've decided that nutrition is your way, whether you've decided to accelerate your body and go back into some kind of a golfer or some kind of a fun athletic endeavor, or if you're just deciding that you want to live forever, yay, you're in the right place, and we're so happy to have you. I'm Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. I'll be your host for the next 2 hours, along with the very delicious and delightful Dr. Carolyn Dean, who, if you're just encountering her for the very first time, you may be aware that she is the author of the bestseller, The Magnesium Miracle. And she is also the author of over 100 other Kindle books. She is the author of, 22, 24 different free books that she provides through our radio website, drcarolyndeanlive.com, for people to do their research and learn more about how nutrition works with various protocols. Again, with her radio show and all the things that she has going on, she's still here every single week to talk to all of us about the things that matter most to us, and that's our health. Again, this is not a medical advice show. If we always have to say that for the FDA, just so they know that we know that they know that we know that you can't give medical advice over the radio in this regard. But what Dr. Dean will do is tell you what she would do if she were in your shoes. And she's been in your shoes many times, not only because she's got a physical body here on the face of the earth, but because she's been her own experiment, and her story, her discovery of the magnesium miracle came through her own magnesium depletion and her own health challenges. And over the years, she has climbed and ascended the mountain of all this wonderful information and her incredible protocols to be able to give you the most expeditious and delightful route to health, vitality, and well-being. So we'll bring her on without further ado and let her delight you with her wisdom and her joy and all the wonderful gifts that she has to give this evening in her own unique way, our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Yay, Ginny. Yay, children. Yay, everybody. Well, today is another one of these awesome days because we are launching a new product. So we're going to start with
Yay!
that. Yes, right away. And I was just on our website, rnareset.com, and you can go there and see the beautiful new bottle. It's an omega-3 algae with vitamins A and E. So it's called omega-3 algae A plus E, and it's awesome. We of course put it in a green bottle, signifying algae. You can find it under either vitamins or other. It's not a vitamin, but I don't know if people really understand that. So we put it in two places. So it's got your omega-3 fatty acids, over 1,000 milligrams, broken down into DHA and EPA, the ones that they've studied the most. And I'm saying the dosage is 2 per day. And you can clarify that with your blood testing, with your grassroots health in-home finger prick blood test. You can get your omega-3 fatty acid levels. And this is what propelled me to do an omega-3 product, because I've been taking omega-3 on and off over the years, and my omega-3 levels weren't that great. So I went to the algae because I didn't want to do fish burping. That's just yucky. It stops a lot of people from taking their omega-3 from fish oils. And if you Google up omega-3 supplements, the first 10 that seem to come up are krill oil. And I have a real problem with people using krill oil supplements because the whales hang out here in Maui every season, from like November till March. And up in Alaska, where they do their feeding, they don't feed when they come down here. They come down here to deliver their babies in the warmer water, but they feed on krill oil. So, I mean, I'm just concerned that if we eat all their krill oil, what are they going to eat? They can't buy it in the store. So, yeah, exactly. So I went for the algae, and they do not make me burp. And I'm just so pleased with that. And I'll do my blood testing in a couple months and see if my levels are back up. So our omega-3 fatty acids are awesome. When you look at the health benefits of omega-3 fatty acids, I came across a good post outlining 17 health benefits of omega-3 fatty acids. Now, what's interesting about supplement articles, even supplement research, is they will do the research on one thing, and usually it's high amounts of one thing that cause a reaction. But you need more than one nutrient to make a difference in any health condition. And I come to that realization because when you look at magnesium, our favorite nutrient, magnesium is necessary for 80% of known metabolic functions. So it's going to help the heart and the brain and the nervous system and the muscles. It's going to help everything. So if you take your omega-3 fatty acids with your magnesium, and actually magnesium is necessary for some of the metabolic processing of the omega-3 fatty acids, of course. So if you take a few things together, you're going to benefit the body. I'm going to just quickly go through these 17. I know it won't be that quick, but I'll sidebar and say, oh yeah, omega-3s can fight depression and anxiety. But what else can? Our B vitamins in Realign, the methylated food-based. Our Remag, of course, can fight depression and anxiety. The Remite is definitely going to help because it supports thyroid function, and thyroid is important for moods. On and on and on. Everything is interwoven. You cannot just say, well, this omega-3, I'll take it and all these things will disappear, because that's not going to happen. Anyway, So omega-3s and depression, anxiety, studies indicate that people who consume them are less depressed. When people with depression or anxiety start taking omega-3 supplements, their symptoms improve. One study even found EPA is effective against depression as a common antidepressant drug. And actually, someone emailed a question today and said, which is better for depression, EPA or DHA? We have both EPA and DHA in our supplement. They come together, they're balanced. I would not go out and try to find a high dose EPA and work on depression. I would look at the whole picture, look at your diet, lifestyle, attitude, and take our nutrients so you get a balance of all the nutrients, not just focus on, one part of one nutrient. Number 2, omega-3s can improve eye health. And now they jump to DHA. DHA is a major structural component of the retina of the eye. When you don't get enough DHA, vision problems may arise. Omega-3 is linked to reduced risk of macular degeneration, one of the world's leading causes of permanent eye damage and blindness. So already with these first two, we've got EPA standing out for depression, DHA for eyesight. I'm going to take them both. I'm not going to take one or the other. And our omega-3 algae, A plus E, has both. And the eyes, look at the eyes. I've written blogs. You can look up eye health and my name. And what would it be? I might have talked about macular degeneration and different eye problems. So look up my name and eye health, and you'll see that vitamin C is necessary for the eye. Minerals are necessary. Hydration is necessary. And now omega-3s are necessary. Everything is necessary. It's just that they haven't studied everything, I would think. Number 3, omega-3s can promote brain health during pregnancy and early life. So the fetus grows with the nutrients that the mother provides. So the prospective mothers do need to take their omega-3s to help the cellular structure of brain cells. I should have said at the outset, these fatty acids help create the cell membrane. And if you don't have enough omega-3 fatty acids, your cells are leaky. You get skin problems because your cells are leaky. Your skin dries, you're dehydrated, from the cellular level. So this promotion of brain health, they're crucial for brain growth and development in infants. DHA accounts for 40% of the polyunsaturated fatty acids in your brain and 60% in the retina of your eye. Infants fed a DHA fortified formula have better eyesight than infants fed without. Getting enough omega-3s during pregnancy is associated with numerous benefits for your child, including higher intelligence, better communication and social skills, fewer behavioral problems, decreased risk of developmental delay, decreased risk of ADHD, autism, and cerebral palsy. 4, omega-3s can improve risk factors for heart disease. So what do we know about heart disease? We've talked about magnesium being absolutely required. It's the highest nutrient in the heart. And now we're finding out more about omega-3s. Certainly potassium is important for the heart. Vitamin C is important for the heart. So let's see what it says here. Heart attacks and strokes are the world's leading causes of death. Decades ago, researchers observed that fish-eating communities had very low rates of these diseases. This was later linked to omega-3 consumption. Since then, omega-3 fatty acids have been tied to numerous benefits for heart health. These benefits address the triglycerides. Omega-3s can cause a major reduction in triglycerides, usually in the range of 15 to 30%. What it can also cause reduction is cutting back on sugars and fructose. High fruit diets can cause elevated triglycerides. That's where you start. Blood pressure. Omega-3s can reduce blood pressure levels in people with high blood pressure. Okay, that's not saying much, but we know magnesium can relax the muscles that line blood vessels. So when you have low magnesium, those muscles surrounding the inside layer of arteries will or can go into spasm and cause high blood pressure because they reduce the inside cylindric opening. I'm not expressing that very well, but blood vessels will clamp down on the blood and increase the blood pressure if you're low in magnesium, because magnesium relaxes muscles, calcium tightens up muscles. They omegas can affect the good cholesterol, raising HDL. They can keep platelets from clumping together and prevent blood clots. They can keep your arteries free of plaque and prevent hardening of the arteries. And certainly magnesium can also help there. Vitamin K2, which is in our D3K2, can help as well. The magnesium works by solubilizing the calcium in this plaque and preventing buildup. And omegas can reduce the production of substances released during inflammatory response. They are anti-inflammatory agents. Omega-3s can reduce symptoms of ADHD in children. Now, this is pretty huge. And actually, this is where I first came upon the omega-3s. I write about it. I think I put it in the Total Body Immunity book under the omega-3s. And it's got to do with studies that have been done where populations, when they had reduced fish oils in the diet, the children developed ADHD and skin symptoms. Dry, dehydrated, flaky skin is a common sign of omega-3 deficiency, and it's very common in ADHD children and autistic children. So several studies note that children with ADHD have lower blood levels of omega-3s. Numerous studies observe that the supplements can reduce symptoms. They can help improve inattention and task completion. And they also decrease hyperactivity, impulsiveness, restlessness, and aggression. Recently, researchers observed that fish oil supplements were one of the most promising treatments for ADHD. Now, the problem is with these omega-3 fatty acid supplements, they're a large gel cap. So they're soft. They're not going to scrape when you swallow them, but they are large. And as Ginny said, when she opened them up for the first time to see if we could tell people to squirt them on things, they smell and taste pretty yucky. So Ginny, I'll pull you over for a minute to discuss this. What are we going to tell people when they say, can my kid take these supplements?
Well, we don't have child's dosing on the label, but I mean, just as far as whether or not they can pop them in their mouth and consume them, yes. I mean, if they can swallow a capsule, I don't find it terrible, but some people do with the larger, fish oil capsules. I think the best thing for them to do is, give it a try and see. I don't know how absorbed it is. So, and I don't know, it's got a lot of vitamin A in it, and that's that orangish red color to it. And so I don't know if it's going to be stainy or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm just talking it through with you for the first time. I'm not giving clear advice. We're just kind of talking about it.
Yeah, what Jenny is alluding to is instead of like clear or slightly yellowish color, our omega-3 algae A and E are a reddish color, which indicates the vitamin A in it. It's a beta carotene vitamin A, 5,000 units, and it is going to give you the RDA of vitamin A, the vitamin E as well. It's 50 units, and it's some mixed tocopherols, and they're kind of like the vitamin C complex that has 8 different types. Vitamin E is a complex as well with 8 different types. So we've gone with the complex rather than just either the natural plain vitamin E or synthetic vitamin E. We've gone with the complex. So it's a whole combination of these 3 fat soluble nutrients. I just thought that they'd work well together. I realized a while ago we had not addressed vitamin A and vitamin E. Vitamin A, you can often get enough in your diet. Vegetables have a lot of vitamin A. You can look at a carrot and see the red coloring, and you know you've got vitamin A in there. Vitamin E, however, is very deficient in the diet. So I had to include it. And it makes a very unique, and as Jenny has on the webpage, it's an exclusive because you cannot find this combination. So that takes care of 3 different nutrients when you get our omega-3 algae A plus E. And for children, yes, I think what I would do is I would open a capsule and put like 1 capsule, the DHA and EPA. You can look up the RDAs for children, and you may find that 1 capsule is a good amount for a child. And I would just squeeze it in a smoothie. I mean, with your smoothies, if you're doing the restructure, if you're doing berry powder, if you're putting several things in, you'll cover up that taste. It's just the size of 1 capsule, 1,000 milligrams. So yes, because we're talking about using it for ADHD, so you've got to be able to take it. Number 6 here, omega-3s can reduce symptoms of metabolic syndrome. So symptoms and conditions of metabolic syndrome include obesity, high blood pressure, insulin resistance, high triglycerides, and low good HDL. So we've already said omega-3s can increase your HDL. We know with obesity, that's got to do with sugar in the diet. With high blood pressure, we know about magnesium deficiency, and insulin resistance is magnesium deficiency as well. High triglycerides, too much fruit in the diet. So again, a combination of factors that you have access to. You have access to the REMAG and now the omega-3s to help symptoms of metabolic syndrome. Because studies are showing that omega-3s can help improve insulin resistance, inflammation, and heart disease risk factors in people with metabolic syndrome. And number 7, omega-3s can fight inflammation. And long-term inflammation can contribute to almost every chronic disease, including heart disease and cancer. Omega-3s can reduce the production of inflammatory molecules such as eicosanoids and cytokines. Now, if you've heard about cytokines with COVID, there's cytokine storms where the viruses, as they're going through their life and death cycle, can stir up inflammation in the form of cytokines. And omega-3s can fight that type of inflammation. Studies have shown a connection between higher omega-3 intake and reduced inflammation. Now, just jumping back to obesity, obesity is related to high levels of inflammatory products. So when you're overweight, your fat cells are creating inflammation. Now, how are they going to do that? They probably put a strain on the liver having to metabolize that extra fat. But inflammation is high in chronic diseases, including obesity. Omega-3s can fight autoimmune disease. In autoimmune disease, the immune system mistakes healthy cells for foreign cells and starts attacking them. Studies show that getting enough omega-3s during your first year of life is linked to a reduced risk of many autoimmune diseases, including type 1 diabetes, autoimmune diabetes, multiple sclerosis. Also helps treat lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, and psoriasis. So getting enough omega-3s during your first year of life, that's your being pregnant, taking your omega-3 algae, and when you're breastfeeding, taking your omega-3 algae for the baby. And then there are baby forms of omega-3s that you can look at, but as soon as you can start doing blended drinks for your children, you can squeeze omega-3 algae into the smoothie. Omega-3s can improve mental disorders. Okay, studies suggest that omega-3s can reduce the frequency of mood swings and relapses in people with both schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Supplementing with omega-3s may also decrease violent behavior. And number 10 is they can fight age-related mental decline and Alzheimer's. We should tell Biden. Several studies link higher omega-3 intake to decreased age-related mental decline and reduced risk of Alzheimer's, beneficial at disease onset when the symptoms of Alzheimer's are very mild. And that's why everybody should be taking omega-3s preventatively. And this relates to what I said earlier, that omega-3s form part of the cell membrane. So if your cell membrane, of the cells in your brain called neurons, if they don't have enough omega-3s, they're not going to be healthy and they're not going to be working properly. 11 is omega-3s may help prevent cancer. 12 is they can reduce asthma in children. Now, certainly REMAG is extremely important for symptoms of asthma, because when your bronchial tubes start spasming because the muscles lining the bronchial tubes are deficient in magnesium, the REMAG can reverse that. And the omega-3s can work on the inflammation and swelling of your bronchioles, giving you asthma symptoms. Omega-3s can reduce fat in your liver. Now, this was interesting because I was asked on Instagram if taking this omega-3 fatty acid would increase the fat in your liver, but it does the opposite. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease has increased with the obesity epidemic to become the most common cause of chronic liver disease in the Western world. Supplementing with omega-3 fatty acids effectively reduces liver fat and inflammation. And you think of the huge effect of the comorbidity of obesity in COVID, which causes liver inflammation. So your body can't deal with a viral infection. Your liver can't detoxify the virus if you've got a fatty liver. Omega-3s may even improve bone and joint health. They can boost the amount of calcium in your bones, which can lead to reduced risk of osteoporosis. They may also treat arthritis. They can help alleviate menstrual pain, and that's by being an anti-inflammatory. Certainly, well, for arthritis and osteoporosis, you have to have magnesium. Menstrual pain can be alleviated with magnesium. Number 16, omega-3s may improve sleep. And certainly magnesium is vital for sleep. And number 17, the last one, omega-3 fats are good for your skin. Okay, so kind of repeating what I said before, but it's very important. DHA, the part of the omega-3s called DHA, there's DHA and EPA. So DHA is a structural component of your skin. It's responsible for the health of cell membranes, which makes up a large part of your skin. A healthy cell membrane results in soft, moist, supple, and wrinkle-free skin. EPA, so this is the second one. EPA benefits your skin in several ways as well, including managing oil production and hydration of your skin, preventing hyperkeratinization of hair follicles, which appears as the little red bumps often seen on your upper arms. Now, I used to have them, but my Remag lotion took care of them. But now that I'm taking more omega-3 fatty acids, that's going to go away on its own. The EPA also reduces premature aging of your skin and reduces the risk of acne. And they also protect your skin from sun damage. EPA helps block the release of substances that may eat away at the collagen in your skin after sun exposure. That doesn't sound very nice, eating away at your collagen. When you think of collagen, you think of vitamin C. So, Ginny, what did you think of that overview of our awesome omega-3 algae?
Wow, I'm so excited. That is more than I could have hoped for. And I love them, honestly. I mean, I've been taking them for over a week now, and they just give me great energy. And yes, they are very, very good. No burpee weirdness or whatever, but I mean, from the very first day. And they're just awesome. Just awesome. I'm so happy.
Yeah, really. It helps sort of complete our completement formulas. Who knows what we'll come up with next? Well, we do know, but it just feels really great to have that. And yes, I could have recommended a better omega-3 because we had been recommending. I don't even remember the name of it anymore.
Well, yeah, let's just say no, because we went through a couple versions. You and I both tried different ones. You had one that you were using for a while, but there's no other omega-3 that has A and E in it. And it's the perfect blend of a fat-soluble vitamins needing a fatty environment and complementing one another. And they run that same lipid support, neurological support, myelin sheath support, all that stuff. I mean, I just think we have the only omega worth having anymore. Everybody else just needs to, forget it already.
We have the omega worth having.
Well, seriously.
Yeah, that's what we aim for. We want the best absorption. And seriously, how can you be absorbing something when you're burping it up? To me, that means you're not even digesting it in your stomach if you're burping it up. So, yeah, I think by having the omega-3 in an algae form, it's good for the environment and it's good for the body. So, yeah, it's very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. And, what I love and know is how our formulas are made. I get to do, and Carolyn does too, the visits with our manufacturers. We get to sit down, we get to see who's standing there, mixing it up and how fun it is to watch it be made. I know the personalization that goes into that. And it just feels good to know that you're putting that in your body because I can guarantee you products aren't made the way ours are, just straight up.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's just so exciting to have it and to have so much integrity, just like you said. I mean, the sustainable part of the thing with the krill and the whales, and that's always been a concern of yours for many,
Mhm.
many years. You've talked about it
Mhm.
many times. So it's
Mhm.
exciting.
It is very exciting, and there's just so much about omega threes, and I have ignored it over the years because I burped it, et cetera, et cetera. But when I put my mind to it, you can find a way around anything, any barriers. So we just put it all together, and omega threes. Yeah, I suppose I'll have to write. Shoosh. That could be the start of the booklet on omega 3s because I really haven't written about them elsewhere. Have I, Ginny?
No, no, not really. And I think it is, yes, the beginning of a booklet, and our customers love our booklets, and it helps them do
Mhm.
their research and track things down and understand the value of, how sometimes people quote unquote pray over their food. And it's just like praying over your nutrients, or when you're
Mhm.
taking them. I just know that it's good for my nerves, which is
Mm.
really good. So
Mm.
I just bless it and say, oh, thank you. And I just see it shooting out into all the ends of my frayed nerves. I think it's exciting to know what it's for and what it's supposed to do. I guess that's little junior scientist to me or something. But yes, I think the beginning of a booklet, Carolyn, for sure, for sure.
Right. Yes, in our one of our more recent booklets, I've written it's called Complete Guide to the Completement Formulas. And that will help you sort out the over a dozen nutrients that we have now. And I won't apologize for having so many because it turns out we do require all these nutrients because we're not getting them in our food. So I have written just a page or so about omega 3 fatty acids. So it looks like I'll have to do a little more. So that's the sidebar. We haven't even gotten to our blog today, but our blog today is about it's called Raising the Vibe: 5 Nutrients for a Good Mood. Now, you've already heard me talk about the omega 3s, how important they are for the cell membranes, including the neuron membranes for your brain, for the mood. So that's part of our list here. So what we got is a list of the 5 essential nutrients your body needs to boost your energy levels, clear your head, and get you ready for the next level of joy and good living. And energy, seriously, it is the most important thing. If you've got, some good energy, you're just glowing. I mean, people do talk about Bob as he walks along the boardwalk and bumps into a whole bunch of people that he's become friends with. They just say he's glowing, and because he's a happy boy. And it's because he's taking his nutrients and he lives a happy life. So magnesium is one of the most important nutrients for a good mood, and it's working on 1,000 important roles in the body. 80% of known metabolic functions require magnesium, and 6 of the 8 steps that create the ATP energy in our bodies require magnesium. So, magnesium can improve your mood, help you reduce the symptoms of anxiety and depression because it makes energy. No magnesium, no energy. Without the energy to live, move, and be creative, your body becomes depleted. You suppress your emotions and desires. You don't engage in physical activity, and you have no energy to maintain a positive, optimistic outlook. So there's number one, and people will tell us because Remag is our gateway drug. People come to us because of Remag, and sometimes people will say, "Well, I feel great. I'll just keep taking my Remag," and they don't know they can feel even better by adding the other nutrients. So step by step, we initiate people into the other other dietary supplements that we have. Magnesium also improves brain function, regulates neurotransmitters. It helps produce serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter. And that is 90% of it is created in your gut, and that's where the good probiotics are necessary for your gut. We won't talk about that right here, but you do want to have the flora revived if you've got any gut symptoms. They can affect your mood. Low magnesium is associated with low testosterone, which is associated with low mood in men. And then there's zinc. A cross-sectional study gathered from 14,000 men and women found an association between depression and zinc deficiency. That's pretty important. And it influences the immune system and brain homeostasis, may act on your brain's NMDA receptors. Also, low zinc may impair testosterone production again. The body does not store zinc, so building up your storage sites within the body cannot be achieved with zinc. You have to take it daily. We have zinc in our Remite and also in our Pico zinc, and that supports your immune system and your mood. Vitamin D, it's become the most popular vitamin topic. Sunshine vitamin associated with good health. Makes sense that vitamin D deficiency contributes to mood disorders, including depression, anxiety, and seasonal affective disorder. When you don't get your sunshine, you're not happy. And part of getting your sunshine is getting your vitamin D. Supports the body, vitamin D supports the body through the winter months when access to the valuable sun rays are not available. And with the vitamin D, you really do need to take your blood levels. You can do that with our grassroots health test. You can sign up for the testing. It's a in-home finger prick. You drop blood on a circular disc on a piece of cardboard, and that's tested for vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, and TSH for your thyroid. Mine was horribly low. I took 10,000 units for D3K2 for several months, like 5-6 months, and my levels, what did they do? They tripled. So I'm in mid 50s now. I would like to be up to the high 60s though. And the omega-3 fatty acids, we've spoken enough about them, and they do relate to mood. And vitamin B12, which is in our Real line. B12 and all the B vitamins play a role in producing brain chemicals that affect mood and other brain functions. They play a vital role in a range from metabolizing food to producing energy to keeping the heart and nervous system healthy. So we have our Real line, as I said, and it is a methylated food-based nutrient. And I think I'll stop there. You can go back to your email and read that blog, send it off to people who you know are sad or cranky. And if you don't have your email, you can go to drcarolyndeanlive.com, and that blog is on the homepage, and all our free ebooks are there, links to the radio shows, links to our webinars. It's our educational site. The FDA won't let us put it with our RNA Reset website with our products, because that would mean that we were telling you how important our nutrients are, and we're not allowed to do that. Actually, Jenny, Jim Turner, one of our lawyers, he interviewed me today, and he was saying that with drug trials, they are in the millions to them like $1.5 billion to do a drug trial, which is what the FDA said I would have to do with Remag if I wanted to be able to say that it helped people with any sort of disease. So it just continues to go up and up and up, the amount of money that people have to spend to do a drug trial. And a good percentage of that, it goes to the FDA as their payoff or payout. And that's an upfront cost. You have to pay off the FDA in order to run your drug trial. So, Ginny, no blog questions. I kind of answered them during my monologue. So over to you.
Very good. Very good. Well, we've got our customer service team up on the chat line tonight. Doug and Melody Rose are here chatting with everybody. So if you've got questions, you can ask Dr. Dean, you can ask our team. And we've got some good comments from our wonderful listeners. New Earth Television saying, happy belated birthday, Dr. Dean. Yes, yes, yes. Dr. Dean's birthday was Saturday. We had a big celebration about all that. And Elma, of course, is listening from Kuwait. Charisse typed in and said, I had a doctor laugh at the lab report I brought him with those results, saying that he would never take that test.
No.
Can you imagine?
No, what's going on? That's ridiculous.
What's going on?
Oh,
That's so great. What's going on out there? That's so you go to a doctor and you bring him your lab report and you say, hey, I just wanted to show you my status of my blood on these important nutritional assets. And they're like, I'd never take a test like that. That's ridiculous.
And this is a ZRT, if people want to look it up, the letter ZRT laboratory. It's a CLIA certified diagnostic laboratory that supports healthcare professionals in health management through accurate, convenient, and innovative lab testing. So they have labs. I guess they pick up blood all over. I don't know. I just know that they're fantastic for doing these blood spot tests, which we have to have. It's like doctors want to control everything about your body. It's like, well, I wouldn't order that test, or, you can't have me ordering a test that I don't believe in. And that's crazy talk. So you do have to go out on your own. Before we knew about grassroots health, and we still do send people to online lab testing. What is it? Requestatest.com is an online lab. And what that allows you to do is get a prescription to have blood taken at a laboratory where they stick a needle in your arm, they take out blood and they send it away. But I mean, look how many people just couldn't do any of that this past year. So doing the finger prick at home, it's such a bonus. So for a bonehead doctor to tell you, it's just, I hope you change doctors. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Absolutely terrible. So let's see. Maria said she's already ordered the Omega. She said she's taking another brand now. That's very, very wonderful, Maria. I'm excited for you. And when you get it and you try it, you've got to chat me up and tell me what you think, because I think that it's really, really awesome. And I just love the energy that I'm getting from them. I don't know what other benefits. I mean, I know the list. And one thing too is, after you've been doing our formulas for a while, and I've been doing them since 2011, to register something new in your body is really exciting, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right. And our people will tell us. I mean, remember Julie, when she started the Pico Silver, her 10 years of sinusitis, she was able to clear that up. And people say that each nutrient that they add kind of adds another level of health and balance. So it is interesting how we've all grown together. I mean, we started out with the RNA reset drops and the Realign there were the first two, and we had incredible testimonials. And then we added the Remag and then the Remite, and it just went bang, bang, bang through the years. Quite amazing.
Yep, it's been a very fun journey, very exciting, very exciting. Very good. So let's see, what else do we need to chitty chat about? I think that's it. If you do want to order rnareset.com, you'll find it listed under the vitamin capsule area, and it's also under other for its own category. We're going to feature it a couple different places so people can't miss it, but it's very exciting. And again, please send us your testimonials to support, SUPPORT, at rnareset.com, or you can also send them to the radio show, which is questions, questions, at drcarolyndeanlive.com. And the very lovely Melody Rose Parker will get that, and she will send that off to Dr. Dean, and Dr. Dean will be thrilled, as she usually is, because she gets these reports every day. Don't you, Carolyn?
Right. And here's a report, speaking of which, we've got an update on Susanna's mother.
Oh.
Now, Susanna's mother, she's in her 90s, right? I was trying to remember.
93.
Bob said she's 93. So at least. So Susanna says, once again, I offer my thanks for your truly wonderful products. I have another testimonial involving my mother. Now, her mother had rheumatoid arthritis. Her fingers were all gnarly, and she had a lot of complaints, including just being so uncomfortable, and she was on medications. Well, she's off all that, and her rheumatoid factor tests come back negative, and her doctors don't know what's going on, but kind of say, well, keep on doing what you're doing. We don't care what you're doing, but just keep doing it. So she said, my mother fell backwards coming up a step into the house from the patio on Thursday morning. She was carrying a large metal tin of bird seed after filling the bird feeders. This tin somehow impacted her face, pushing her glasses into her face. The brother was there. He didn't see the accident, but, helped her up or whatever. Susanna was out working. She didn't come home till later on in the day. And her mother looked like someone had beat her up. She had a couple of cuts on her face, 2 ugly looking black eyes, bright violet surrounded by dark purple and green colors, swollen upper lip with a gash on the inside of her lip. Her left foot also was swollen and bruised, dark violet, dark purple, along the top of her toes. No idea how that happened. She also doesn't remember how she fell. She had pain in her foot, was limping, small bruise on the tailbone. And she fell around 9:30. Susanna didn't get home till 6. So Susanna immediately put Renew lotion, or I don't know if it's Renew serum, I think. I'll have to find out if it was Renew Remag cream or lotion, or the Renew straight. So she slathered all the bruises, the foot and her back, several times that evening. And the next morning, you could see the bruising was clearing up and looked so much better. And the pain went immediately after the first application and never came back. In the morning, her mother asked her where she had learned about all these lotions and liquids that I give her. She said that when she dies, she will probably get up out of the coffin. That's how impressed she is with how good she feels and how quickly she sees that her bruising is clearing up.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I will get up out of my coffin. And then her brother said, my brother also has commented that it's clearing up quite nicely, but he has no interest in hearing about what I give my mother. So isn't that cute, though? 93, probably 94 now. So thank you, Dr. Dean. You are the greatest. I'm so grateful to have triangulated to your frequency.
Oh,
XOXO, Susanna. So, I mean, and that's awesome. I mean, there's Susanna. She's taking care of her mother most of the time. It looks like she's also working. I mean, this is a dedicated daughter, and for her to have a mother who's functioning, going out and doing the bird feeders. She was mowing her own lawn up until last year. And, to have a happy, healthy mother is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
oh my gosh, yes, it's a great gift. It's a great gift.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And especially, in this environment where you see how elderly are being treated. It's, so it's very, very precious to be able to do that. And we have a lot of people who do take care of their family members. It's wonderful. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good. If you'd like to call and talk to Dr. Dean tonight, let me just put the digits out for you. It's in the email, it's here on the YouTube, it's on the radio station. But the number is 646-558-8657. And then you have to type in this ID number, which is 8836953587. 8836953587. And if you'd love to talk to Dr. Dean, she would love to talk to you. We always take calls in the second hour. And we're also going to be joined tonight, I think, for just a few minutes from our most wonderful Lorraine up in Canada, who's got a few words to add. She just emailed me and said she'd hop on right after the top of the hour, and she'll pop in with us. And it's always fun to have her here. And for those who are listening in our Canadian market, reset.truehealthcanada.ca is the way you can get your Remag now within Canada. No duties, taxes, and things like that. Very exciting. And we're getting all the other products on. I was working on that today. So we're getting all them up there too. And pretty soon the whole country will be situated. And that's very excited. Then we won't have to worry about Canada anymore. Right, Carolyn?
Situated and saturated. That's what we're doing. Woo!
Right, saturated. That's right. That's right. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Okay, what else do we have to say before the top of the hour? We've got about 3 minutes before we're going to transition over.
I have some Instagram testimonials if there's nothing more on chat.
Yes, please.
So Kate sent me like 3 dozen. I mean, people are just sending them in rapid fire. Someone says, I have used your formulas for going on 3 years now. They have made a big difference in my life. And there's a purple heart and a smiley face. There's a lot of emoticons in Instagram. No capitalization for the most part. People just throw these words out there, but it's all heartfelt. Someone says, supplementing your potassium and magnesium has helped me alleviate anxiety, heart palpitations, and muscle cramps. I follow a ketogenic diet for chronic migraines, which can increase my susceptibility to electrolyte deficiency. I also feel that my migraine frequency is further reduced when I stay on top of supplementing electrolytes. Now, what that person has realized or learned, and we certainly talk about it, is when you're on a ketogenic diet, high fat diet, you are only, quote, allowed 20 grams of carbohydrates a day. And if you push aside your green vegetables, you're not getting your potassium. And certainly most people are deficient in magnesium anyway. So your minerals are affected. You are going to get symptoms that we attribute to mineral deficiencies. And I don't know, they do talk about it in the keto world, Ginny. I know you've been studying that. They do know they're low on electrolytes, but what are they telling people to use?
Pills and powders that are not, sufficient. The trace mineral kind of things that don't have the quantity of servings, or they're literally trace minerals.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to say directly, you need to take a potassium supplement in the keto environment, and then also to be able to say, and this one is highly absorbed and is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. I mean, that's one of the best things you can do for somebody on keto. I know I'm doing keto right now, and I take 4 teaspoons of pico potassium a day, and it really helps, and it helps with your metabolism too.
Right. Very good. Okay, I'll pull back there. Are we at the top of the hour, or do you want another couple?
I think we're right up here at the top of the hour, so we're going to take a quick break, and everybody get your Remag water. While we're on break, text your friends or share your YouTube. Let people know we're on the line. Dr. Dean's talking and rapping with people when we come back from the break, and you give them the call-in number, and we'll have a robust second hour. It's always fun with all of our callers. We'll be right back, everybody.
We'll be back with Hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of The Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order The Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Completement Formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RNAreset.com to learn more. That's RNARESET.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. We're so happy that you're here, and so happy now for my favorite part of the show, where you get to talk to Dr. Dean, because she always amazes me with the things that she says, and she always has something new to say, because she's very intuitive, very wise, and she listens. And very few people actually listen anymore. And so it's just fun to actually let her listen to people from their hearts, talk about the things that are important to them. And then she responds in kind, with kindness, which is wonderful. So we're going to be taking your calls in hour 2, and also more questions on the chat line at YouTube. Again, feel free to chat in, and many people still wishing our very own Dr. Dean happy birthday. This past weekend, Elma saying so, of course, and Patrick back with us, wishing a happy birthday to you, Carolyn. So many people wishing you all the goodness in the whole wide world.
Oh, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. And I mean, just so you know, every day to me is a birthday. Every day is a new, wonderful day. I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
And I thank everybody for those blessings. Thank you.
It's so much fun. Okay, so if you've got a call, if you're on the line and you want to talk to Dr. Dean, you've got to hit *9 on your keypad. We'll raise your hand here in the studio and let us know you've got a question or a comment, and you'll put you on the phone with Dr. Dean. Again, 646-558-8657 is the number to call, and then 883-695-3587 is the number to actually connect with this particular line. We use Zoom for our radio show because it passes through to YouTube. And so they've got all these funny numbers. But we invite you to join us again, *9 on the keypad to talk with Dr. Dean, and we'll put you on the phone with her. Now, nobody's raising their hands right now, which I find very odd. So we'll have to see what else is going to occur. Otherwise, Carolyn and I will start making up fantastic stories and different things, and then the phones will get slammed with people wanting to talk to Dr. Dean.
I can continue with Instagram testimonials, but I'll pause after each one, and you can see if there's a phone or a chat. Okay,
very good. Thank you.
Okay. Somebody says, magnesium saved me, ! No more insomnia, twitching, cramping, anxiety, and the list goes on. I mean, how can people live with these symptoms? And it's just horrible. But, you know, here I am with all my training. I have my medical training first, then my naturopathic training. And I was in New York doing the AIDS and chronic fatigue research. And I had chronic neck pain, and, you know, I wasn't sleeping so well, and I'd get leg cramps. And I just thought it was me. You know, I was stressed out. I was busy. And I was working, I was operating. Man, you know, the people around me said, you know, I wish you'd slow down. You know, you're making me jealous. And it's like, get a life, my gosh. You know, and I said, this is me operating at like 10%. Can you imagine? So after I got into the magnesium and that whole world, you know, I just took off. And that's what people are sharing with us. What are you going to do with no more insomnia or twitching or cramping or anxiety? It's just so liberating.
Yeah, very liberating. Yep.
Yeah. Next one, I reach for all of them. So I think the question, the Cape had up this question, which of the complement formulas are you taking? So someone that was answering that question and said, I reach for all of them, and there's a smiley face. But definitely Remag, Pico Potassium, Realign, Remide, D3K2, Two Suns, all these emoticons or whatever. And I walk away from negative people and that works perfectly fine for me. And there's a smiley face, another smiley face, and 100%. So that's awesome. I mean, learning that you don't allow your brain to get infected with people who are going to pull you down. You know what happens to people like me, I like people. You know, when I'm with people, I see the best in them and I interact, and I really like people. But if they start saying negative things, it's very hard for me to stand there, because what are your options? You either agree with them, which I refuse, or you yell at them, and I don't want to do that. So you have to step away, right, Ginny?
Yes,
Ginny.
absolutely. No, I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, and it may be, I mean, Ginny's a pastor, and it may be, yeah, we should turn the other cheek, but you cannot stand there and agree with someone who's putting somebody or something down or saying something that's just crazy. You can't agree with them just to be nice. You just have to walk away. So that was a great, a great line there that this person said. And the next one, someone says, my brain loves this stuff. And she's got a brain emoticon and a big, big star. My brain loves this stuff. The next one, love it. And I will never use another product except this one. I love Remag. Yeah, a lot of people are in love with Remag, that's for sure. The next one, we love Double Heart, you, Dr. Dean. You are our hero. You give so freely, and our family is forever grateful. Now, I love that. I love the family thing. I love the fact that the whole family gets involved, and we get stories back from people that the kids even know, oh, that's Dr. Dean's supplements. Actually, Julie, our customer service Julie, she was telling me about her grandsons. When I went to the NBA, February, was it 2020? Was it 2020? Just before COVID, I was in Chicago with Jermaine and Jack, and we were at the NBA. What do they call some weekend that they have every year? That I'm sure they didn't have it this year. And her grandsons were so excited that I was going to meet these basketball stars. And she said, they really love taking their supplements, especially knowing that I'm involved with players that they follow. It was very cute. The next one, the potassium supplement I was taking before Pico was 500 milligrams, and it irritated my bladder. And she puts in brackets, sorry, TMI, too much information. With Pico Potassium, I'm able to take just 200 milligrams for the same results and no side effects. So that's awesome. And I think it was last week I read a testimonial from someone who said that they can take half as much Pico Potassium as they could other prescribed potassiums. Another one says, I love my Pico Potassium. This must have been after Pico Potassium Instagrams that Kate sent out. So someone says, the Pico Potassium has really given me a feeling of being more grounded in my heart. The combination of the Remag and Pico Potassium has helped with AFib, which I think many times is also emotional. My body, mind, body, spirit. So grateful every day. That's awesome. And someone says, I've enjoyed your Pico Potassium posts. And that's what we do with Instagram, is we'll focus on each individual nutrient. And if people aren't on Instagram, it's really fun. I mean, I never went there until we started with the RNA Reset Instagram. So you just go to RNA Reset, all one word, and there's 3,293 followers and building, and there's a whole lineup of the omega-3s are up now, and I just did a bunch of videos on the omega-3s. You can see them. I shoot these videos. I just sit in a chair, with something colorful on. And as I was telling the gang in a business meeting this morning, I put on a little eyeliner, a little glittery eyeshadow, and some rouge, and oh yeah, I have lipstick, and that's me. That's just me sitting there, and I enjoy doing it. It's very easy, and it's just me sitting in front of my iPhone, and I find that amazing, Jenny. I mean, we've done this, as you said. You've been taking our formula since 2011, so we've been doing this over 10 years now. And I never thought I'd be doing Instagram videos.
It's fun. That just goes to show how young you are. That is, and how, life really is. You just keep expanding and growing, rolling with the punches, and taking what comes up and saying, sure, I'll do that. And sure, I'll try that. And sure, why not? And that's how you stay young. I mean, it's just so fantastic. You don't limit yourself, and you don't, reject the opportunities to engage and to be effective, because social media is a great way to connect with people. And you care about people, and you want them to connect with what you're doing so that they can feel better. And if everybody knew how much better they would feel if they just worked with Dr. Dean, they would be here. And the ones who do feel better because they work with Dr. Dean are here. And that's what's really exciting, really exciting. Let me ask you a couple questions real quick, Carolyn, okay? Patrick, our good Patrick, was asking this question. He says, I went to the doctor today and everything's great except my cholesterol. And he said, my total cholesterol, LDL, was 236. And he says, I'd like to get it down to 150 or lower. What would be the fastest way to do it? Probably give up all my whole fat yogurt and cheese for a couple weeks and then just have it in moderation. Now, Patrick, I think Patrick's a keto guy and an intermittent faster. So I want to make sure, Patrick, is that right? Type in real quick, because I know he's sitting right there.
But also, I'm getting mixed messages here. Is the total cholesterol 236? And then you threw in the LDL. So that makes a big difference.
Okay, he said my total cholesterol LDL was 236. So Patrick, bring me some clarifying facts here. What should he say, Carolyn?
Well, there is total cholesterol that has a number, and there's LDL that has a number, and they are different numbers.
Okay. So we got to straighten that out, Patrick. All right. And I know he's sitting here, so he'll get me the scoop. Also, Elma said that our wonderful Elma in Kuwait, he said that her husband is now taking 4 spoons of Remag and the potassium, and he's feeling so much better. He was having pain in his shoulders and in his feet. So he's got all that inflammation out. Very good. And Patrick said it's total cholesterol 236. Right.
Now, and that's important. And they want you to be down to 150. And that's a crock. It really is a crock. Yeah. And they want you to do that by giving you statins, presumably. My cholesterol is like 250 or so. I think I have some familial cholesterol, and I just leave it there because I want my hormones to be made from cholesterol, and it helps with your cell membranes. When I was in medical school, the average cholesterol, they should not call it normal. The average cholesterol was like 245 or something like that. And since then, because they decided cholesterol was the bad guy in heart disease, which it is not, since they decided cholesterol was a bad guy, they tried to come up with ways of slamming it down. They made us avoid butter for all those years and gave us the crazy synthetic margarines and the trans fats that actually made us sicker. And now they're sort of, okay, you can have some butter, okay. And they keep slamming away at the cholesterol because they want to sell the drugs. And the side effects from these drugs are such that there is no increase in lifespan if you take statins, because whatever they do to slam down the cholesterol a bit, they make up for with the side effects, which kills you. So you have to read a book. I like best the Great Cholesterol Con by Malcolm Kendrick. He's Scottish MD. My mom was Scottish. We have wicked sense of humors, and he manages to write kind of a humorous book about a horrible subject. So the Great Cholesterol Con, you have to look at all these things. I think there's an astronaut who started to get brain amnesia, some brain deficits, because he was on statins, and he came out against it. So, and I've written about it in the Magnesium Miracle. I threw that information in about the Great Cholesterol Con. So 236 in my mind is average. It was average a long time ago, before we had heart disease. So there's a lot more to it, and you can read about that, Patrick. But yeah, the doctors really don't know what they're talking about on the level of cholesterol being the bad guy. And Ginny, they aren't helping people with heart disease with the statins. People are still getting sick. They're still on their 6 drugs. They're not getting better. When people take our formulas, they get better. So because people aren't getting better, they want to give people statins to bang it down to 150. It used to be 200. Now it's 150 because, oh, well, we're fighting against heart disease. We have to give you drugs earlier and earlier and more of them, instead of them waking up and saying, oh, well, this isn't working. I mean, what business would keep doing something that isn't working? And instead of looking at alternatives like a magnesium and finding that magnesium is a natural statin, I mean, that's even being written about in some places in the literature. And instead of looking at those alternatives, they're still, guided and manipulated by the drug companies to think, oh, well, we'll have to test smaller and smaller bits of cholesterol to make sure that we really hammer this cholesterol down. It's just terrible. Just terrible. They're going to biologic drugs now for cholesterol because the statins aren't working to help people. So they're going to these complex molecules that have incredible side effects because cholesterol is such a horrible problem. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting.
It's really unfortunate. And I think the thing too is you can't take Remag and have problems. I'm sorry, but I just, and I know how devoted Patrick is to our formulas. And when you do take our formulas on a regular basis and you've got your Remag and your Realign and your Remite and your body's being balanced and you've got all these great things going for you, I just really don't think that there is an out of balance situation that you can come up with. So yes, 236 total cholesterol, LDL 168. you absolutely have to have that, right, Carolyn, to have proper lipid function.
Right. Yeah, they're finding that people who have these low cholesterols have hormone imbalances. There's all kinds of side effects, but you have to read more about it. It's like you went to the doctor and got brainwashed for a few minutes. So you have to brainwash yourself back to understanding what's really going on with something like the Great Cholesterol Con book.
And also, magnesium is a natural statin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many teaspoons are you taking of the Remag and Pico Potassium, Patrick?
Yep. He's taking the D3K2. I know he does keto. He's an intermittent faster. I know he's always in really great shape, and he's always doing something fun. So I think, yeah, let us know how much Remag and Pico Potassium you're using too with all that stuff. Okay, very good. Now I'm looking for our dear friend Lorraine. She said she called in on her cell phone, but I can't tell which one of these numbers is her. So Lorraine, you've got to hit *9 on your keypad to let me know you're here. And I'm going to put you on the phone with Dr. Dean and welcome you to the show and find out what's happening in Canada. But you've got to hit *9 on your keypad so I can tell that it's you. Otherwise, I can't pick it up here. Can't figure it out. Okay.
We have such a plethora of callers.
We do, but they're all listening to Dr. Dean tonight. Nobody wants to speak. Nobody wants to say anything. They just want to listen to Carolyn's words ooze out. Patrick takes 4 teaspoons of Remag a day.
Good. And Pico Potassium?
And the same of Pico Potassium, 4 to 4.
Wow.
Bam, bam. Way to be about it, Patrick.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, that means good, you're covered. So you shouldn't have to worry about a total cholesterol of 236. And yeah, I mean, I guess, Patrick, just download the book. You can Kindle it. That's what I did, and see what you think. And if you have questions, definitely get back to us and let us know. When doctors are just kind of brainwashed to think cholesterol is the only problem with heart disease, they're just going to hammer away at it. And, patients are sort of left in the middle of their unknowing, their uneducated minds. It's just, really at a very bad state. And I think with the coronavirus, we realized how little medicine knows, because it's always flip-flopping. And something I heard was that when people go in, have a positive test, go to the hospital, they don't even treat them. They're not even telling them, well, take this or do that. They just send them home and say, come back when you're worse. And then what will they do? Put them on a respirator? It's incredible. They are not. And that's, could be just gossip, but they're also not telling people to take their nutrients. The vitamin C, the zinc, the vitamin D, all have known benefits. And for some reason, it's just being, trampled upon. That information is not being presented to the public. It's unbelievable.
Speaking of COVID, New Earth Television typed in and said, do you have any suggestions for lingering COVID symptoms? Many are complaining about symptoms way after the virus is gone. Recently, someone well-known killed themselves due to ringing in their ear. Goodness gracious, I didn't hear about that. But lingering COVID, Carolyn, what do you think?
Oh, sure. I mean, anybody who's done alternative medicine knows that 20% of, bad flu, influenza conditions, you suffer bad flu, 20% of those people are going to continue to have ongoing symptoms. That's what chronic fatigue is. Chronic fatigue syndrome, that's also been ignored. All of a sudden, oh my gosh, people are still sick. They've always been sick. To, 1 in 5 people have always continued to be ill because they haven't been able to build their bodies back up. I have a whole section on that in my Future Health Now encyclopedia, post-influenza sequelae. And, what do? You use all our supplements. Also have a list of homeopathics that people can use. It's a known entity, but because medicine doesn't know how to build people back up, they just know how to, to bash away its symptoms. They have no idea how to build people back up. What did they tell people? Go home and sleep. Drink some chicken soup, maybe. They don't know anything to help people just stay healthy, stay in the zone. So it's nothing new. It is nothing new. It's just been ignored.
Yeah, really, that's such a good point. What would they say? How could they say something to someone to tell them how to be better when they don't know? You're exactly right, babe. Wow. Wow. Fascinating. Okay. I think I've identified Lorraine. I'm asking you to unmute Lorraine with *9 on your phone. Unmute *9. You've got to come into the call there, and she should be popping in with us soon. Okay, Lorraine, unmute your phone, hit *9, please. There she is. Are you there?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh,
You're here.
I'm pushing numbers, but the wrong ones.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can't afford to waste time trying to get in to talk here. You're a busy lady. Tell us what you've been doing.
Oh, where to start? Well, first I have to say happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lorraine.
So, well, what are we doing? So we are, I hear, becoming situated and saturated.
There you go.
So cute. We're having quite a lot of fun. There's a beautiful sunny day up here, warming up, so lovely outside. We're so busy. We're going to start getting our seeds out and planting, and I'm helping some people get some real food growing in their own backyard, on patios, wherever. It is really easy. And so I'm helping. And Jenny, you just nailed it on the button there. How do we guide people? I've got them coming in saying it's too difficult to be healthy. And that's just not true. So we're having a lot of fun, and I make it fun and I make it doable for them. So you know what I do? I go down a checklist, and it makes it easy for me and easy for them, and it keeps it simple. So the diet is everything, and it's everything you guys have been saying, which makes it so much more fun. But in making sure that they have the nutrients that they tend to forget, and combine that with some exercise. You don't have to stay in the house. You can go out, you can take deep breaths, pick up some breathing exercises and have fun with that. And our mental and physical health is so important. So it all combines to make a holistically healthy body.
Wonderful. And when you say breathing exercises, some people think, oh my gosh, how do I learn that? To me, it can be something as simple as you're walking along, swinging your arms, or like I do, I carry 1 3-pound weight and I transfer it between, both hands. And I have my triceps and my biceps built up like a bodybuilder. And when breathing exercises to me is inhale on a count of whatever, 4 or 5, and exhale double that amount, so that you're really expanding your lungs and you're clearing out and all the rest of it. And of course, I'm blessed by being in such a non-polluted area here in Maui. But up in Canada, it's the same thing. People can go outside and breathe in fresh air.
Well, absolutely. And that diaphragmatic breathing is what I advocate as well. And I really like that 4 count. I kind of call it box breathing, because if they're just mentally unwinding. And, you know, if they can't do 4 at first, they can start with 2. And it's slowly, you can actually train your lungs, your mind, your breathing to slowly inhale for preferably 4, aim for 4, and hold for 4. Then exhale for 4, and hold for 4, and start again. So some people have actually worked their way up to 8. That's pretty cool.
Yes, and like you say, the counting takes care of your mind going off in crazy gramophone thoughts. So the counting is there. It's like a meditation. You're walking. Well, I'm walking. I cannot sit and meditate. That is just never going to work for me. So I call it walking meditation, and do the breathing and do my arm exercises. And of course, I stop every once in a while, take pictures and send them to Ginny.
Well, that sounds like fun. And, you know, for those that can't get out and go for a walk, I mean, they have these mini trampolines or a rebounder, and it's so conducive for circulation, like all the same reasons. But it's stationary and it's right in your home. So that is just really great to get something. It doesn't have to be much, but something is better than nothing, and you can just find that place to start. And there's so much misleading information out there. So I'm finding a lot of people are counting on foods that are not adequate. And this is what it's all about, is finding the best you can, the best quality. And I love going to the farmer's market. And when we know they won't meet our nutritional needs, then we're supplementing. So the supplements are, number one, quality. Otherwise, then it does become a chore. Rinsing out all the fillers, the synthetics. It's just all that marketing excess that is so unnecessary. But we really do see the difference with quality supplements, and of course, starting with the number one, magnesium, of course. And we can't wait to get all the rest up here. And I'm just over the moon saying that you brought in your omega-3. So I can't wait to get that up here. I'm not sure, Jenny, how long that's going to take, but we'll keep hammering away at our end with Health Canada. That's for sure.
That's wonderful. And this checklist, I mean, that's very interesting. I mean, that sounds like something that our customer service is probably doing, because what we find is people will call up customer service or email and say, well, you know, I was taking my Remag and I felt good, and then I don't feel so good anymore. And when we interact with the customer, we find out that they cut back on their amounts, and maybe they're only taking Remag and they haven't introduced the others. So the checklist for me would be, well, how much Remag are you taking? How long have you taken it? Have you added the Remite and the Realign? So for us, the checklist is just reminding people that our formulas cover the waterfront. And if you aren't taking them, there's no point in going off and doing other nutrients, because you aren't saturated enough with the Remag to make the full difference that you're looking for.
Oh, absolutely. I find many people have put that proverbial cart before the horse, and they just want to jump right in and just get fixed. What is it that's going to just get me out of this slump? And it really doesn't work unless you start at the top of the list, keep it simple, and water. I still have people coming in drinking maybe 2 cups of water a day. Wow. And it is not enough. It just simply isn't. We're over 70% water. 2 cups really doesn't cut it. And I don't know if that's just bottled water. So, you know, that is a topic in itself. And the next in line is the magnesium. So it does keep in check if they try to skip. It's like skipping bases in the baseball team on the game. You need to go from the batting position to the first base and then to second, and you just can't skip second to get to third. So it keeps everything in check, I guess.
Right, right. Yes, I mean, you can look at hydration, exercise, and attitude are three things that can be very helpful. And you start with them. And the hydration, you have to have the sea salt in the water. And people will tell us, you know, they feel so much better with just that intervention. And then it's almost like it gives people enough energy to buy the Remag and the Remite and the Realign, and then they start developing layers of feeling better and better as they saturate themselves with all these nutrients. Yeah, it's wonderful to see, and it's almost scientific the way we see these things, you know, helping people. And then and I'm sure you've come across this, there's a certain point after a couple of months that the immune system is revved up and they start dumping yeast, and people say, oh my gosh, you know, I'm getting some more bloating or vaginitis, or my tongue is coated, what's going on, I have a rash. And it's like, well, your body's strong enough now to get rid of toxins, you know, celebrate. This is not a bad thing. This is cause for celebration. Have you seen that, Lorraine?
Absolutely. That's why what I like to do is I offer a program where I can touch base once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever works for the person, and helping them keep on track. So when they, you know, I call it the elevator effect, that some days that elevator's going to go up, and sometimes the elevator goes down. But when it goes down, I want to know when it's down, and they usually tend to only want to tell you when the elevator is up. But I want to hear the good and bad, and when it's down, the first thing I tell them is there's only one place to go from here. It has to go back up. So I go back to remind them how much water they're drinking, because when the body begins that detox process, it's the water that flushes it away. And we need a healthy colon. And there you go with the omega-3s, healthy colon, healthy heart, healthy brain. And they all play a part, and we just can't do it, that complete job, without it. So yeah, just those little reminders. Sometimes when I try to send them out in our newsletter, I'm a little behind in my newsletters, but I will get to them to get them a little bit more regular. But the memos, you know, they do appreciate that, and that's what they need, and I'm good with that.
Right. Our marketing emails that we send out, we try to educate people about the various supplements, and the hydration. Oh, you know, it is very important. It comes first. I remember in the beginning when people were taking their Remag, I would get feedback that, well, all of a sudden I'm constipated. You know, what have you done to me? Magnesium is supposed to be laxative, and they just weren't drinking their water, because the minerals will go into the cells and they will drag water in with them so that the metabolic functions can occur. You have to have hydrated cells. So you're pulling all this water from your tissues and maybe causing some quote constipation, because there's no available water going into your intestines to help your bowel movements. So, okay, well, drink more water. And it's like, oh, okay. It's so simple, some of it. And what, you know, what I see in medicine, because I do my continuing medical education credits every 2 years, I have to do 50 hours. And now it's all about these complex drugs and these complex diseases. They are trying to complexify medicine to such a point that if I was faced with this type of medicine when I decided to go to medical school, I don't think I would have bothered. It is just too unnatural. I actually say to young people who come to me and say, you're a medical doctor and a naturopath. What do you think I should do? I used to say, well, as an MD, you have more clout and, more value in a sense that people look up to an MD. But now I say, become a nurse practitioner for Pete's sakes. Take a 2-year course, learn about all the horrible things that doctors do, but study my books and my products on the side for all you need to know about alternatives, and then find a practice where you can guide people nutritionally and sell them my products. That's our only hope.
I really see it that way as well, because I've never, ever had to detox somebody or help them go through the process by having too many vitamins or too much magnesium. It's just not the same process. It's the opposite. They're coming in on too many medications, and some I'm finding it's not uncommon to find them on the same medications for 20, 25 years, and they've changed 3 or 4 doctors. And they don't ask to have their medication revised. And so that's another factor. I just simply have them make another appointment with their doctor and say, I'm now talking to some very educated people and on a nutritional program. What do you think that we start, do you feel I'm strong enough? Take another blood sample, do another blood workup. And more often than not, we're finding that the symptoms they begin to develop is because their body no longer needs the medications. So I enjoy working as a team and guiding them with the right questions for their doctor.
Right.
In many cases, they can start that weaning process under their doctor's guidance. And all I'm doing is guiding them nutritionally. And they don't think it's possible, but they haven't asked the question, is it possible to the doctor? Because normally they don't tell them. They'll just say no. Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
a very good point. It's like it's not in the doctor's mind to get a person off a medication, because they see people getting worse and worse and worse and needing more medications. They don't see people needing less medications. So you have to bring up the subject. And certainly with our formulas, people are getting healthier and stronger, and they don't need as much medication. We never tell them to get off it in the beginning, but we do remind people when they start saying, well, getting these weird symptoms. And if they're still on medication, we ask them to go and see their doctor and ask about weaning off a medication. If their arrhythmia is better and their blood pressure is better and their cholesterol is better, why are they taking these medications? So it's definitely, the stage in our customers' health journey where they get to the point where they decide, we will never say to them that they can't take our formulas if they're still on drugs. I used to hear that years ago, and it was very scary to me how some naturopathic doctors would insist on that. But what we find with our nutrients is you can take them. They might help your drugs work better. You might not need as much of your drugs. And that at a certain point, you might not need them at all, because the drug side effects will start to appear in someone who doesn't need those medications.
Exactly. I think the guidance is much needed out there. And the touching base protocol is just as important as what they're taking. So they have that guidance. So I think your team on the phones down there, Julie and the gang, they're amazing. I get feedback up here how well we were treated, and it just makes for a bigger team. So that's pretty amazing. I really like it, sharing that with everybody up here in Canada. So.
Well, thank you, Lorraine. You're doing great work. It's amazing. Because you're not seeing so many people in the office, you're reaching out to them. Do you do a Zoom or telephone with your clients?
At this time, I'm just doing it by phone, by telephone, and it's working really well. And so the Zoom, not everybody, a lot of the seniors aren't, they don't care for the Zoom, or they're have a few challenges there with the computer. So I just keep it simple, and we're just doing that by phone right now.
Very good. Awesome. Ginny, what do you have to say to our dear Lorraine?
We say, yay, Lorraine. Thank you so much for calling in. You're such a blessing. And we just love, love, love everything about Lorraine.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't be in Canada if it weren't for you, Lorraine. So we and all of our Canadian customers are very appreciative of you and your work. Thank you so much.
Very much so.
Well, you're so welcome. And it's been a group effort up here. I'm just going to leave you. I have a lot of people asking for one thing. Jenny, do I have 1 minute to just throw in a quick little recipe for people that think that eating healthy is difficult?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I have a wonderful quick recipe that everybody can do, and it suits everybody's metabolism, and it's kale chips. And they're wonderful. Raw kale is an exceptional nutrient food, and it's very high in lutein. So all of our customers that have eye issues, as well as xanthine. So it's an antioxidant that's in the macula. So high in vitamin K. It's actually 1,000 micrograms in about 8 cups of vitamin K, which is 10 times the suggested daily dose. But if someone could take it, just try this. It takes about 10 minutes to get ready. You take 8 cups of organically grown kale, and that you can do in your backyard, no problem. So you want to remove the tough stems, because that you're going to put into your juice the next day, or chop it up really fine and throw it in some scrambled eggs. But we're going to take 8 cups of kale and pack that in, just loosely packed, and take 2 tablespoons of organic cold pressed olive oil, a little bit of good quality Himalayan pink sea salt, maybe a little bit of smoked paprika, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of, all these are organic onion powder, or you can even do tiny little minced pieces. And if you like a shake of pepper, you can toss that in too. So I like to dehydrate in my dehydrating oven. But if you have your oven, you can put it at 3 to 325. I like to keep my heat down to about 115 to keep those live enzymes. But if you just preheat your oven, wash the kale, tear it into large pieces, put that into a bowl and just toss it around with the oil and spread them out on a baking sheet. So you can put it on some parchment paper and clean up a little bit easier. And then go ahead and put them in the dehydrator. If you're in the oven closer to about the 300, you might be in there for about 20, 25 minutes, a little bit longer, a couple hours in the dehydrator. And as soon as they come out, you just take all those spices, whatever you feel like having at the time, and sprinkle the seasonings all together and on the kale chips, and then gently toss them all up again. And voila, you have a snack for the whole family, and they're absolutely delicious.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. I'm working at the farm market tomorrow, so I'm going to grab some kale for sure. I don't have a dehydrator. I've been through that, got rid of it. You know how it goes. But can you put the oven on at only about 150, like the dehydrator, so that you won't lose enzymes?
I have found most ovens don't go lower than about 170. So a choice is to leave the door cracked, and you can let some of that heat out, and you're going to move them around. You're just going to check, and it's so easy. You can't. Well, you don't want to turn that heat too high and burn them. So it's just the lower, the longer, and just keep an eye on them. And when they get nice and crispy, then you can pull them out.
Right. So you kind of practice, because different elevations, you could have different cooking times. But yeah, maybe it's time to get that dehydrator back. Well, that's perfect. Are you going to make them, Ginny? Are you going to make kale chips?
I was just sitting here thinking about, could you do it in your air fryer? But you said the temperature has to be low, so that's a no. So no to the air fryer. But yes, I'll figure it out with the kale chips. I'll give it a whirl. I'll try anything once.
Oh, I know. Ginny's such a chef and cook. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll try
I
it.
think in the air fryer, let us know how they turn out. Maybe they'll just be fine.
Right. Well, I
might
think
be
the air fryer is the way to go, but it sounds like too hot. But I don't really care about enzymes. I'm more into taste. So.
Awesome. There's our Ginny.
I'll cover them with some sugar and burn out all the enzymes, and then they'll be perfect for me.
Okay. Well, I'm signing off. Cheers to everybody. Take care.
Bye, Lorraine.
Bye,
Thanks
Lorraine.
for calling.
Thank you so much. Come back soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. That was fun. Okay. Real quick, let me just say that Diana Orlando, or Diana, asked me, what is the calcium intake from food that you should get if you're taking 4 teaspoons of Remag for osteoporosis?
Well, I think the calcium is pretty standard, calcium intake. I write about this, and it's basically to get 600 milligrams of calcium in either diet or recalcia. It's not the 1,200, 1,500 milligrams that the government RDA says. They're talking about difficult to absorb supplements, as far as I can see. Calcium from food is very well absorbed, and I've said this many times. When I eat, several cups of yogurt a few days in a row, I'll start getting my magnesium deficiency symptoms because the calcium is bumping my magnesium. And the 600 calcium, I say, has to balance the magnesium. So it's 600 milligrams of Remag, 600 milligrams of Recalcia, or food in your diet. You go to the Chronometer app, CRONOMETER.com app, and put in your what you're eating on a daily basis, and it'll pump out the number of milligrams of calcium you're getting. But you're looking at dairy and kale. The leafy green vegetables have a fair amount of calcium. The vegetables don't lose magnesium, don't lose calcium the way you lose magnesium. So that's my standard. I do get knee pains when I don't have enough calcium. So I do have that to follow. I suppose what you could do is take 2 or 3 teaspoons of calcium and see if that bumps out your magnesium. And then you say, oh, okay, then I don't need that much calcium. It is a bit of work to figure it out, but that's why I say go for the 600 milligrams and see how you feel.
And also, with 1 minute left, I'll just add that Remite is very good for your bones because it's got zinc, selenium, and boron in it. So don't forget your Remite either. Okay,
now, let me
go ahead.
Back to Diana. She's on 4 teaspoons of Remag, which means she's on 1,200 milligrams of magnesium. So she's wondering about how much calcium to take in relationship. I mean, should she take 1,200 calcium? And I say no, because what you do in the first several years of saturating with magnesium is you're mobilizing the calcium that's deposited in all bits and parts of your body. As your body gets more flexible and doesn't ache and pain as much, that means your calcium is dissolving and going to your bones. So you're actually pulling the calcium away from soft tissues, away from your arteries, putting it in your bones. So you're feeding yourself calcium as you're saturating. So
Excellent.
that's what I'd say. Yes.
And with those words, we have to go. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Have to go. Thank you. I want to stay. Ginny, can we do more hours? Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
You've been listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy.